Hello and welcome to Fresh Face One Shots. My name is Joey,
And I'm Jacob.
and we are back with Superman by Joshua Williamson. This is Superman number 7, which is also because so many DC titles seem to be doing it these days. We're switching to legacy numbering as well with Superman number 850, which makes it an oversized anniversary issue. Because of course it does.
Of course.
But hey, more pages by Joshua Williamson. I am not complaining really.
Yes.
We got some follow up on last time. We have some more teases of things to come. I really enjoyed this one. What did you think of this one?
I had fun with it. I can see why Williamson probably wanted it to be oversized, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
Because this current arc, I think he said is 3 issues? Because something new is starting in 9. With, which we've seen recently the cover of with the Wild West Superman.
Yep, which I'm so excited for. But yeah, this is setting up like some much larger arcs that I'm very excited for going forward. And some things that we've seen before for the most part, but things I'm excited to see developed upon. So yeah,
we open with some interesting development on Perry White of all people.
Who I never thought in all my time reading Superman I would start to distrust Perry White, but I really distrust Perry White right now. I don't like it. I don't like what Williamson is doing to my beloved Perry White, but whatever. He's running for mayor, and it's shaping up to be interesting with him. I'm very excited to see where that goes. And as he is making a speech about his candidacy for mayor, we follow up from Superman number 6 with the arrival of the Chained, who begins floating above Metropolis, and Perry White recognizes the Chained and calls him Sammy Stryker.
Yeah,
which fascinates me.
That's an interesting. Okay, so do we know the founder of Stryker's Island?
If we do, it's escaping me at the moment.
My brain wants to say William Stryker, but I don't know. But
that is X-Men.
That's X-Men. Oh, great!
X-Men. yeah. Similarly named comic things from different companies.
Yay!
We love it.
I'm getting my wires crossed.
Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, he calls him Sammy Stryker, and we don't get much more follow-up on that. I'm assuming that's something that we'll mostly be dealing with in number 8 next time. But still very intriguing.
Or maybe even later. I don't know, because the way this issue goes, it goes into some interesting places.
Yeah, definitely.
I will say it feels very much like DC is shifting to Joshua Williamson being the architect for the Superman books based on this issue.
Yeah, as he should be. And we do know he's doing some Action Comics stories next year, so that I'm very excited for those. And also, the Super books are starting to sort of clean themselves up. Superboy Man of Tomorrow ended recently. I think Steel is still going strong. I think that's ongoing. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah. Williamson very much has his hands all over the Super books right now. And hey, I'm not complaining. I've been loving this. So
yes.
We get the arrival of the Super Fam here. We get some great member appearances here, which is nice.
Yes. Mostly members I'm at least vaguely familiar with.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have Connor, you have Kara, you have Natasha Irons as Steel, and then you have, I believe, the other Superman character was the all new Superman from some point in the New 52.
I honestly am not as up on that as I would like to be. I got nothing on that. He's speaking Mandarin though at one point.
Yes. Which is
so I don't know. Honestly, I should look into these things more, but I'm too lazy to do that.
Yes.
I do love this is called The Chain Part 2, but the issue itself is so much bigger than that.
It is a lot, and I'm so glad it's all one continuous story and not a bunch of little mini stories.
I mean, it sort of is, but the sections of the mini stories sort of bleed seamlessly into one another, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's written all as one issue. This isn't a bunch of different authors coming in to write something for the big 850th issue.
There have only been 150 issues of Superman. But no, we get this great scene then of Superman breaking out of these chains with Mercy Graves there. Just a nice little scene. I don't know. I like Superman realizing how he's able to break out of the chains because the chains actively fight against him and his powers. It's a cool scene.
He'll break out by using more than one power.
Yeah.
Also, the way Mercy is drawn is so sinister.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I like. I've been saying it since the first issue, pretty much. Like, I think Williamson has so much more planned for Mercy Graves as a character throughout the rest of this run. I cannot.
He
wait
is
to see where that
doing.
goes.
He
Especially
is doing something.
Especially her separated from Lex is something I'll be interested to see more of later on. Yeah, I don't know. Just I'll be really curious to see that. Yeah, Superman breaks out. He joins the fight of the Superfam against the chained Sammy Stryker here. As the chained.
Well, Sammy Stryker has this very interesting conversation with Connor, right? Like, recognizes that they are similar based on their powers, which is really interesting because I'm pretty sure Connor's origin is obviously still clone of Superman.
Yeah,
with Lex's DNA mixed in. So what does that mean? Like, where?
Yeah. Notice, I would assume, take note of the red hair on Sammy Stryker.
Yeah,
that might have something to do with it. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, with another thing that's revealed this issue, could Lex have another secret relative? Probably.
Yeah. I would not doubt it. But yeah.
Also, I love Clark just punching him in the face and declaring Connor to be family.
Yep.
Like,
and it's also just a great action shot. I can't tell. Is this the Jurgens section? I know Dan Jurgens is a section of this issue. I can't. I can't pinpoint what section it is, to be honest.
Well, here's the thing: all the artists seem to be using Melnikov as like the guide to follow, if that makes sense.
Except for, like, spoilers, the Brainiac section at the end. It looks very different from the rest.
Yeah, and that might also be
no, looking ahead, Jurgens looks like he's doing the Lex and Lois section. That looks more Jurgens.
Ooh, yeah, that looks like Jurgens.
It looks very Jurgens, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, so whoever's doing that Superman shot, punching the chain, it's great. The chain wreaking havoc on the city, it's like toppling these two buildings. I really love the way that
and a lot of this is set up very much as also just this misunderstanding of Sammy Stryker seeing the Superman symbol, seeing Supercorp, being like, "Oh, this must be an ally of Lex Luthor," when Clark isn't. Not in that sense.
It really does feel like with the Chained as a character, like, I think Sammy could, despite the fact that the story of the Chained is only 3 issues, I feel like Sammy could have, like, much farther reaching consequences for the run as a whole.
I mean, certainly, because this could just be introductory. Yeah,
because the Chained is powerful, and Williamson takes the time to really show that. And then the Chained is actually met by our 2 other original Superman villains, made up by Williamson here, Grafton Farm, and they're offering to help them get their revenge on Lex Luthor, which of course I'm assuming Sammy's very interested in. Then we switch over to Stryker's Island, where Lex is being held at the moment.
He has to be restrained because he's just gone through surgery. Because remember, he's been nearly dead for a couple of issues.
Yep. But he's Lex Luthor. His hatred, to quote the Master, only hate keeps him alive.
Yes.
So trying to escape, they put him in handcuffs. Lois Lane comes to visit him. We get this really interesting conversation between the 2 of them. I'm pretty sure, looking at it, it really does look like Jurgens. I'm pretty sure this is his section. But
yeah, I mean, especially when you get to the flashback.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Very Jurgens. If not Jurgens, then it's very Jurgens inspired.
And Lex seems to want to somehow put this wedge between Lois and Clark. Like he's angling something here, which is weird. Like what's your angle, Lex? What are you planning?
I do have to ask, in the 2-page spread, do you know anything about the whole thing with Lex in the Superman suit there?
I don't actually.
Have you ever seen that image before, him in that suit?
I have not.
Okay, all right. That is something I would love to talk about with you someday, but more on that another time.
In the future.
Listen to Fresh Comics. Which might, but anyway, we get some more, flashbacks to Lex's past, trying to be a superhero, fighting Grafton Farm. Superman, of course, ruined his whole life, and in this sort of self-reflective moment, he kind of looks at Superman as being like not just the thing that changed him into, you know, literally a bitter supervillain, but also with a look on his face just kind of says that he kind of changed him for the better.
Yeah, well, like, so we bring up the whole, you know, if you look into the abyss looks back. And this idea of Superman being what changes the abyss, which is an interesting philosophy. I mean, I could see Lex Luthor taking cues from Friedrich Nietzsche, philosophically speaking.
Yeah. But then this meeting is cut off by the arrival of Lex Luthor's mother, Letitia Luthor.
And I'm like, what the fuck? First off, Williamson, you're turning this into a soap opera, and I love it.
And then even more so with the arrival of the next character, Lena Luthor, which is so interesting.
Yeah. So, and Lex's mother is certainly Lex's mother.
Oh,
yeah. And Lena is definitely Luthor's child, but also I'm like...
I also love the Black Canaries t-shirt that she's wearing. Great.
Yeah, it's...
Also, notice the Brainiac looking dots on her head.
Yeah. What's up with those? What's up with those, Williamson?
Yeah.
Hey, Josh, what are you planning?
Perfectly transitioning us into the final section of this issue, which is probably, I don't know, just my favorite art-wise. I love the Brainiac section. Again, you know, we don't know what Brainiac's like role in the run actually is yet, but Williamson is setting him up for something massive, and I cannot wait to see what that is. We also get probably my favorite 2-page spread in the whole book. I fucking love this page so much. Well, the 2 pages, I should say. Yeah, it's so good. We follow up on Brainiac's capturing of the Zarnians, Lobo's people, inside one of his bottle cities, and we have them attack this other planet, and that is where we begin to close out the issue. Not before, of course, teasing that Brainiac is trying to create life. It seems, which again is just. What the fuck? What is he doing? What is Williamson planning? I cannot wait to see. Like,
Josh, you've started to let some dominoes fall, and I don't see how they're connected in any way. Like,
it seems to me. Well, I think we're finishing up the chain next time. Then we're going into a Wild West arc, as we know from the solicits.
Well, I mean that is so clearly going to be like
probably
flashbacks to give us the origin of Marilyn Moonlight. Like,
yeah.
That's where we're going. So we're going to get some of those answers, but I feel like that's also just going to make us ask more questions.
True.
Because that's what Williamson's been doing, making us ask more questions.
Exactly. But yeah, I needless to say, I'm very excited to see where it all goes. I don't know. I've been loving this run so much so far. I can't. I don't know. I don't know much more to say beyond like I'm just so excited. Every time I finish one of these issues, Williamson just crushes it every single time.
I mean, I'll say it, of the 4 series we've done on one-shots, including Wonder Woman, despite Wonder Woman only having 1 issue, I think this has been my favorite and is continually just making me ask these questions and to be a really solid ongoing.
Yeah, definitely. So. Yeah, all right. I guess that about does it. As always, be sure to check out Fresh Face Comics, the main podcast. This is a sort of spin-off of, I guess. Yes. We have our own spin-off.
Just so we can keep doing DC stuff while we're doing Marvel stuff.
Exactly. Of which we have, our last episode we released was The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2, and this coming Monday, we have X-Men Volume 1 by Chris Claremont, which is awesome. As always, we'll leave our socials and everything. Our link tree's down in the description below. Be sure to check those out. Follow us wherever you can, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. Any bit of support means the absolute world to us. So, yeah, I think that about does it. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, this has been Joey Morgan.
And Jacob Licklider.
Goodbye.